Hi everyone, good morning. So yesterday we have seen authentication codes and also we completed injection ply attack or OS top 10 attacks investigation. So today we can continue Windows logon types, and also I will show you, I uploaded one of the material just now. So in that material total it contains 80 pages. In that 80 pages, what exactly you have to go through for the interview point of view, and also what exactly how to study. That material contains even correlation rules also. Okay. Additionally, I will create one more sheet for correlation rules that we can discuss maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. So that is the agenda for today meeting. Windows logon types. So Windows logon types, why we will use? So to log into the respective system. So that system may be either server or laptop or MacBook or workstation, whatever it may be. So it's a dedicated applicable to Windows only, not applicable to other operating systems. So it's a most of the cases Microsoft operating systems. Okay. So this logon, it's not about only successful, even it is a failure as well. It's combination of both. It's a applicable to successful as well as failure of the respective logon or login. So there are different types. Basically, we know only one logon type. That is the regularly whatever we are trying to log in. So once you are switching on your laptop or MacBook, so we will enter the username and password. So finally, we will click on login button and we will log into the system. So that is the only one logon we know, but there are different types we have. So that different types we can discuss. It is one of the interview question as well. Okay. So normally whenever you are integrating Active Directory logs, these logon type as well it will provided, whether it is a type 2 or type 3 or type 4 or type 9 or type 10 and so on. Okay, what you know about these logon types? First of all, what is type number, and also what is the type name, and what is the description of the respective each and every logon type. Okay, so that we can discuss. First one is a type 2. See, type 1 is not existing, and also type 8 or 9 is not existing. So it is started with the type 2. So we can start with type 2. So first one is interactive logon. So where we can see all these different types of logons, normally we can see in the Active Directory. So there are two different types of Active Directory. If it is on-premise Active Directory, that is called as a normal Active Directory. That one we can build on top of the Windows Server, or even we discussed about one more product is called Info Blocks, right? So these two are possible. Otherwise, even we can use Azure Active Directory. These two are very popular right now. One is on-premise Active Directory. So nothing but one physical server, Windows Server. That server we can configure as a Windows Server. So on top of the Windows Server, Active Directory software we will install, and according to respect to companies, Active Directory groups we will create. So in that Active Directory groups, we will come to know that directory of the end users, directory of the systems, directory of the servers, and so on. So that is about Active Directory on the on-premise level. So nowadays, cloud is becoming very popular. So in the cloud level, Microsoft Azure Active Directory is a popular one. So it is applicable to even cloud as well as in the on-premise also. Okay. So all these logon types normally we will see in the Active Directory. Okay. Once we are integrating this Active Directory or domain controller logs, you know already what is the difference between Active Directory and domain controller. So the Active Directory is a directory of the systems or users or computers or servers information. So on the other hand, domain control is centralized authentication and authorization server. It will run on top of the Active Directory. Okay. So that is about Active Directory and domain controller. So coming back, so these logon types normally how we can see and where we can see in the Active Directory we can see. Once we are integrating these Active Directory or domain control logs to the SIM tool, so respect to logon type also we can see, and type number we can see whether it is a successful or failure. So that information we can see it's a part of log analysis, because we are integrating the domain controller logs using the collector agent method. So that is about overall introduction part. Okay. So once again, as I said, this logon types is not only applicable to just a successful logon, even it is applicable to failure attempt as well. Okay. So first one is a type 2 logon type 2. So the type 2 name, we will call it as a interactive logon. So what is this interactive logon? It is a basically normal console computer logon type. When you say normal console computer logon type, meaning here, you are regularly how you are entering the username and password. So that is called interactive logon. So most of our Windows event ID 4625 and 4624 is belongs to this logon type only. Because once you are switching on either desktop or maybe laptop or maybe even workstation related to dedicated to Microsoft operating systems only. So we will enter the username and password. So maybe either it will successful or maybe either it will failure, right? So that interactive logon type is called interactive. So sorry, the type of logon is called as a interactive. It's a normal console computer logon type is called as interactive. Console of a computer logon type. So that is the first one. As I said, most of the logon types are interactive only. Okay. So second category, we will do like a non-interactive. When you say non-interactive, remaining whatever we are going to discuss. So that may be network logon type, that may be batch logon, that may be service logon, that is a cron jobs logon, that is remote desktop logon. All these are completely like a non-interactive logon types. So next one is a network. So it's a type 3. So logon type name is network logon. So this network logon through either LAN or maybe through Wi-Fi also, this is possible. So in this logon types normally, so how we can do this one? If you give the access to the printers, example from your system, you given one of the printer. So nothing but you given one of the printout. So in that case, how that printout will occur? So that is one type of logon type. So this is also will use IIS server. IIS server is applicable. It's a part of Windows Server. So it's a Internet Information Service. IIS means Internet Information Service. It's a part of Windows Server. Okay. So basically in this Windows servers, this is one logon type. So it will use IIS logons also. Internet Information Services logon. It's applicable to Windows Server. Windows also, whatever Microsoft operating system we are using, that one only it is applicable. Okay. So it will provide the basic authentication, basically nothing but username and password. So this logon occurs whenever access remote file sharing, nothing but you are sharing one file to other systems, and also you are giving one printout. That is also possible. And also additionally, even if you are logging to the respect to IIS server, so using a basic authentication mechanism, this logon type work out. Why? Because you are logging into the network, sorry, your system, you are logging from there, you are giving a network access. So network access to other printouts, so that is possible. And also even you are sharing a file system from your system to the other systems, that is also possible. So these are all the examples of the network logon type. So we will use a LAN connection in case you are connecting to remotely, nothing but through virtual private network. In that scenario, so we will use VPN. After connecting VPN, so then we can go and we can give the file access to other system. So example, if we access file server from your system, in that scenario, whatever type you are logging, that is called network logon. Okay. So how we can define this one? When the user access remote file shares or printers, and also even this is applicable to log on to IIS server using basic authentication. Okay. So first you can log into your system. From there, you are sharing either files to other system or maybe in the on-premise location. If you are giving the printer or printout, in that scenario, even you are sharing the files as well to other system. So that is called network logon, because in the local area network, you are doing all these access or you are doing all these actions. So that's why this is called network logon. Okay. So when for suppose you given one of the printout or you given one of the file access in that scenario, so these backend, so we have different types of Windows logon, Windows logs. One is auditing related logs, configuration related logs, system related logs, and application related logs. So this one is a part of audit related logs. So then backend Windows logon type will generate nothing but network logon with the type 3 it will generate. So when it will generate, whenever you are giving the printout option and file sharing, and also even when you are trying to access the IA server within the local area network. So that is called type 3. So next one is type 4. So type 4 is called as a batch logon. So batch logon meaning here scheduling the task. So scheduling this task meaning here. So as I said yesterday also, cron jobs. So here patch updates we will use in this scenario. So whoever is a scheduler, he is providing the service starts or scheduling the task or patch updates and so on. So he will create one service account. So from that service account, he will log on and he will push the patch updates to the all other systems and he will take care of the patch updates. So which is the server normally will do the patch updates? What is the server name? To send the multiple either tool name. Can you provide one of the tool name or patch updates can be used by the most of the organizations? Anyone? Example. So maybe 1 lakh servers are some 1 lakh end user systems are there. If you want to do the patch updates, which server or so which tool we will use? Anyone? If you want to do the patch updates for 1 lakh machines, so Windows patch updates, so which tool or which server we will use? Anyone? We discussed already. Sorry?
In my organization, for Windows, Altis they are using. For Linux, they are using the system manager for patching.
Sorry, could you please repeat?
In my organization, for Windows patching, they are using Altis tool.
Atris tool, okay.
And Linux, for they are using SUSE manager.
Okay, SUSE manager and Atrix. So what are we discussed in the class? SCCM, Server Center Configuration Manager. Okay, and also IBM Big Fix. Okay, so even Kaseya is one of the tool is there. So these are all the couple of tools are available. So SCCM, when did we discuss? So if you want to do the antivirus agent updates multiple systems at a time. Okay, even SCCM can be used as a for patch updates also. So Atrix is one thing, just now he said, and also IBM Big Fix for it's one of the very popular tool. Okay, IBM Big Fix, Kaseya also one of the very popular tool. So these are all the couple of tiles we will use for patch updates. Okay, so whenever we are doing, forget about Linux because we are discussing about only Windows now. So batch logon is applicable to scheduled task. When you say scheduled task, most of the cases, patch updates or any configurations if you want to do. So in that scenario, as I said, one of the dedicated service account we will configure. From that service account, so and so date and time. So we have to schedule the task. Okay, so or we have to schedule the updates. So automatically these updates will happen. Okay, they will push those updates to the respect to all the end user machines. That is called batch logon. So this is used schedule task or also patch updates. So that is about type 4 batch logon. So next one is service logon type 5. So when this one we will use, as I said, even role-based access control, when we discussed, I think 2 or 3 days back, okay, for servers side. So there are different types of accounts normally we will configure. One is admin account, one is service account, one is user account. So integrity, basically sudo account or maybe root account and so on. So these are all the couple of accounts normally we will create any server level. So why we have to create user level and server level or service account level or maybe even root or admin level, anyone? Why we have to create different types of user accounts and service accounts or admin accounts or maybe super admin accounts in the servers? Anyone? So example, maybe we are creating in server level user names called as Suresh, Mahesh, Naresh, and so on. Why we have to create each and every individual server user? Why can't we use a common username and password?
For identification purpose.
Yes, for traceability. This is called tracing. So if there is a common username and password, if something got compromised, okay, we are not sure who has done what. So maybe the blame game will happen, right? So if you are using a common username and password for every account, so example, as said, Mahesh and Suresh and Naresh has a common username and password they are using. If they are using common username password, maybe Mahesh has done some deleting or updating or modify something in this server level. So Mahesh will say, I did not log in. So he will blame it, even though he has done. So that's why for traceability and integrity or identification of the who has done what, identity purpose, we will use these dedicated accounts that is called role-based access control. That's what I told you. So based on the role and based on the job roles and responsibilities, we have to provide the user accounts also. But these service accounts and batch accounts will be used by most of the cases admin people only. So nothing but whenever they want to do some configurations, okay, related to service like automatic restarts, that time we will use this batch logon and service logon. So service logon mainly we will use so services and also service accounts that log on starting of the service. Couple of times example in the Windows machine, so that maybe our antivirus agent is completely stopping. So we have to restart that particular service. Maybe other services are stopping. Okay, so we have to use this service logon. Mainly why we will use this service logon? To start the or stop the services, we will use this service logon. Batch logon is completely for the scheduling the task as well as the patch updates. Okay, one dedicated service account we will create and we will log it using that particular username and password. Then we can do the starting of the service and stopping of the service. Stopping of the service or killing of the service when we will do whenever any abnormal activity or malicious malwares are installed on the respective Windows servers or maybe Windows laptops. Okay, so that is about service logon. This is used for services and services and service account that log on to service restart or stop. So that is about service account. So next one is unlock. So type 7. So type 6 is not available. Type 7. Unlock. So unlock. So basically account lockout policies will be applied for every company to mitigate brute force or password spray or dictionary kind of attacks. In that scenario, maybe if any user is trying to do more than 3 attempts, example, maybe 3 attempts is our account lockout policy, meaning whenever the user is trying to access more than 3 attempts, entering the username and password is wrong, automatically account will be locked out. So that is the policy normally we will create. So why we have to create these type of policies? Whenever attacker is trying to do different types of attacks like a brute force or password spray or dictionary, any authentication failure category of the attacks, we will use this particular account lockout policy. Okay, even we can see regularly also, couple of times you are entering more than 5 attempts, that is basically security best practices. If more than 5 attempts you are doing any account logon, automatically it will be locked out. So if you want to unlock in that scenario, what will you do? Anyone? For unlocking the Windows machine, what will you do?
And
Admin we people
ad-
For okay, example, maybe you are working in so and so company. So unfortunately, maybe because of the human error or a typo error or password error, so that account is locked out automatically. This will happen to everybody in everybody's regular life. So what you will do in that scenario?
contact to admin team.
Yeah, contact to admin team or help desk team or service desk team. They will reset the password. So resetting the password and they will provide to you. Okay. So that is whatever by default password they provided to you. So then we using the default password, we will log in. After that, we have to change our password. So this is what normally we will do. Okay. So in case your machine is logged, in case your machine is completely locked out, in that scenario, always you should have the toll-free number to contact the help desk team or service desk team. All these things normally they will discuss in the induction training. So you have to note all those toll-free number or corporate IT contact number or service desk number, help desk number, and so on. Please remember this one. So that's why normally they will conduct this induction training. So it's not about only just IT related training or sessions. Even they will discuss about finance oriented, HR oriented policies and so on. They will discuss in the induction training. Okay, so you have to note all these things. So coming back, unlock, why we have to use this one? This is used to unlock Windows machine. Next one is a type 8. It is a network clear text logon. So example, we discussed about SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3. So version 1, what is the difference between version 1, version 2, and version 3 of SNMP? Version 1, version 2, and version 3, differences of SNMP. What is SNMP protocol? What is the port number of SNMP?
161, sir.
What is the full name?
Simple Network Management
Simple
Protocol.
network management protocol.
So what it will do?
Network management.
managing all network devices.
Yeah, so discovery as well as managing of all the network devices, mainly for discovery purpose. In our organization level, our data center or our site, whatever devices are there, including routers, switches, printers, Windows machines, servers, and so on. So we have to enable this SNMP. Normally, this SNMP we will enable in the router or switch. So there are three different types of SNMP version. SNMP version 1, version 2, and also version 3, latest one. SNMP version 1 and SNMP version 2, it will use a clear text. So nothing but it will not use encrypted username and password whenever it is traversal in the at transit level. Nothing but it is not encrypted password basically. So, but on the other hand, SNMP version 3 is encrypted password. That is the main difference between SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3. Okay. Network clear text logon meaning here. So without any encryption, whatever username and password we are using, that is called network clear text. Example, you are logging and you are sending your username and password within the clear text over a network. When you say over a network, it is a data at a transit level. So data at a rest and data at a transit level. So data at a rest meaning example, data at a encryption, like a disk encryption and database encryption. But data at a transit level meaning here, whenever you are trying to access the any websites or application, or maybe through RDP connections, or maybe through sending an email, so or maybe accessing the cloud, all these are called data at a transit level. Okay, so this is applicable to, so when you are sending the username and password at a transit level, nothing but so through network. So that time it is applicable to that without any encryption. Okay. Example, whenever you are doing the basic authentication, that is we discussed already, part of type 3, nothing but network logon, even IAS server. So it will use a basic authentication. Basic authentication is not a encrypted one. If you are using basic authentication, even if it is to our server and also application, it's a dangerous one. Nothing but it will use HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay. So whenever we are doing pen test, we'll identify whether they are using the basic authentication or maybe they are using a secured way of authentication. So basic authentication is not recommended, not recommended. So even VPN also. So VPN will use a encrypted one. Okay. So that is about a network clear text logon. So how we can say this one? This is used when we log on over a network and the passwords are sending in. Sending in. Password sent in, otherwise in the clear text. So that is about the network clear text logon. So nothing but clear text username and password. So next one is a new credentials, that is type 9. New credentials. So new credentials logon. So this one is run on application using the run as a command and also specify the so /net only. And whenever we are using first initially, example, otherwise you are onboarding in a company. So first by default, one of the password they will call. By default, they will give one of the username and password. That is like a new credentials. Understood? So once you are accessing your laptop, immediately we have to change what are by default passwords or new credentials they provide. So this is example. Okay. So initially what are provided new credentials that is applicable to as a type 9, but the default passwords are newly credentials password. So we have to change once it is I mean, once you are logged into your system. Okay, so that is about new credentials. So even we will use other log on credentials as well. So nothing but run as a command we will provide and we will log into the system. So this is applicable to most of the cases you are onboarding in a company and you are getting a laptop and you are logging into the system. So that is case, this will use a new credentials log on. But after log into your system, immediately we have to change the default passwords. Otherwise, so attacker maybe will use a password spray type of attacks. Okay. So this is used when the user is accessing the Windows machine first time using default passwords. Okay, so that is about new credentials. Type 9 is a subset of type 2 because it's a normal logon type also. So next one is a type 10. It is a remote interactive logon. So remote interactive logon, it's meaning here, once you are logged into your system using RDP based application or terminal services if you are using. So from your system, example, I logged into my system now. So from my system, if I want to use any RDP connection, so that is called so remote desktop or remote interactive logon type. So we have to enter the respective machine, either host name or IP address. Then once you are clicking on connect button, so then it will ask username and password. And once clicking on the username, sorry, once you are entering the username and password, so it will ask accept the certificate. So once you have to allow this certificate, then finally you are able to log into the whatever system you are trying to access. So that is about RDP. Okay, so remote desktop interactive logon. So how we can define this one? This is used for RDP based authentication to log into another Windows machine or server. So that is called remote interactive. Next one is a cached interactive, that is type 11. Cached interactive. So anyone can explain what is cached interactive? Or cache, otherwise cache or cache.
RAM memory
Temporary,
storage.
temporary storage.
No. So not temporary storage. So that is temporary storage is a parts of DNS server. That is different. Cache means what? Application cache, server cache. We already discussed about disabled account login attempts failures are coming.
Saved passwords username.
Yes, saved passwords and username. That's right. Cache meaning here something it is storing. In temporary also storage, correct? So storing something is called normally cache or cache. Okay. So cached interactive meaning here, so storing of the username and password, saved username and passwords. So whatever using saved username, sometimes when you're trying to access Gmail or Facebook, it will ask you a browser. So automatic, okay, so refilling of the username and passwords, right? So that is one type of cache interactive only. But this one is applicable to Windows. What we are discussing about not applications, we are discussing about Windows. In Windows also, so backend our domain control, it will save our passwords. So that is called cached interactive. Okay, using saved username and password or credentials, log into the Windows machine. Catch and interactive. So disabled account login failure attempts are coming. And also terminated account login attempts are failure are coming. This is one of the use case or one of the scenario. So why normally example terminated account? Terminated account meaning here already account is terminated. Disabled account. So our account is disabled. So how this login attempts will come? Anyone? Yeah, using cache or catchy. Yes, right. Or cache or catchy. So because these username and password it will store and continuously keep on it's communicating to or authenticating to the respective backend domain controller. So example, today your last working day, okay, and you left the company. So what is the Windows admin team normally they will do? So they will disable your account. Not disable, terminate your account. Disable is different, terminate. Disable is for some specific period of the time. But terminate means completely deleting your account. Okay, so in this case, terminated account login attempts failures are coming or disabled account login attempts are failure. So example, continuously you are typing more than 3 or 4 attempts, account will be disabled or account will be locked out. So, but even though from that particular account or a terminated account, so even though you completed your last working day, still login attempts are coming from your system. In that scenario, which type on logon type it will work out? What the type logon type in that scenario?
11.
Yeah, type 11 cached interactive. You have to say all these. So this is one of the interview question as well. So from the disabled account, how the login attempt failures are coming? Or disabled account, how these login attempts failure are coming? Or terminated account, how these login attempts are failing? Using Windows type 11 logon type that is called cached or catchy interactive logon type. So because our credentials will be stored in the respect to domain controller, and the domain controller keep on communicating to the centralized authentication and authorization server. So backend type 11 logon type it will be generated using collector agent method. These logs will go to SIM tool, and whatever correlation rule we created for the disabled account login attempts failure or terminated account login attempts failure are coming. It will hit those correlation rule or use cases. Finally, it will generate the alert notification in the SIM tool. Okay, so that's why whenever any employee is leaving from the company, we have to remove the cache as well. Okay, so these are all the different logon types. It's one of the popular interview question also. Okay, type 2, type 3, type 4, but you no need to remember type wise, but at least you can remember the type name. So this type number. So this type name. Next one, description. So these are all the logon types. So these many logons we will use regularly, and our Active Directory or domain controller logs if you are integrating. So whenever you are doing your work regularly, so these logon types, it will go to the respective SIM tool, and even it will provide the type name also. Okay, so first one is interactive, remaining all other, it's like a non-interactive. Till here is non-interactive. So meaning here, it's a category, basically, mainly category. So mainly in the Azure Active Directory for going, nothing but cloud-based Microsoft, only 2 classification they have done. In the Microsoft Azure Cloud Active Directory, only 2 classification they have done. One is interactive logon type, second one is non-interactive logon type. Interactive logon type like a type 2, type 10, and also type 11. Remaining all are like a non-interactive. Okay. So all these things normally will be done and configured by Windows admin team or sysadmin team or Active Directory team. They are aware of all these. Okay. So that is about overall log on types.